Hey, stars from 13 Stars! Here I am again for another book discussion, this time for The Woman in the Window. I have to confess that I read this book in Portuguese last year, and now I'm rereading it in English, but I totally agree with the sentences and the cover. I'm gonna summarize: thrilling, amazing, and it's soon to be a motion picture. It's due to May. Maybe we're gonna have a delay or not, but the fact is, read the novel and then let's go to the cinema to check it out if it's as good as the novel because the book is awesome. Okay, well, we're going to discuss from chapter 1 to chapter 33 today. Okay, so I'm gonna take care not to go farther than it. Come with me. It's impossible to start this discussion without giving some minutes for Anna Fox. Anna Fox is our main character, and she's a main character, okay? Because let's start with this. She's married with Eddie. In fact, they're not married anymore, they are divorced. Anyways, she has an ex-husband called Eddie, and an 8-year-old daughter called Olivia. Something happened last winter, and they got divorced. It's not clear in the book until chapter 33. She's starting to tell the story, but we don't know exactly what happened. The fact is that Eddie asked the divorce, okay? They don't live in the same house anymore, however, they talk on the phone. Something also happened 10 months ago in the same winter that she was traumatized, and this trauma led her to become agoraphobic, okay, after some panic attacks. Well, agoraphobia, as I wrote here to give you some visual aids, is an anxiety disorder developed after panic attacks. That's why, in my opinion, something more than a divorce happened 10 months ago. The fact is that nowadays she lives on her own in a four-story house in New York, and she has a hobby, a particular hobby for people who are lonely, and in this case, depressed. That ta-da, she lurks the neighbors through the window, and she has some best friends nowadays, a family that has just moved in for the number 207 across the park. They are the Russells. Before going to the Russells, let's talk a little bit more about Anna Fox. So she lives on her own. In fact, she has a cat and a tenant. The tenant lives in the basement, okay? His name is David, and he seems to be an interesting man. I mean, due to the revelations of the characters in the book. Well, in the trauma that happened past winter, she was injured in her back, in her spine, and in her legs. So she has been a physiotherapist that takes care of her once a week. She also has Dr. Feelings, that is the therapist that attends her to take care of her mind. To talk about her mind and the medications, it's true to say that she takes a handful of medicines every day. However, she not exactly does what the doctor ordered because she takes these medicines with wine, and with a lot of wine, to be honest. By the way, it's important to say that she's a physicist as well, or she used to be. She was a kid psychotherapist. She used it to console kids. However, she is, I have to say, due to her condition, okay, the anxiety condition, she's not working at the moment. However, she is counseling some people on a website called Agra, okay, by under the name of Dr. Is In. For example, she consuls Granny Lizzie. It's a lady that became a widow, okay. Still with Anna Fox, she uses drinking as escape from her reality. Okay, she really drinks a lot. There is no single chapter that she's not drinking, and I mean morning, afternoon, and night. She really drinks a lot. She does. She's not facing her life. She's completely escaping from it. Okay, What else can we say about Anna Fox? Her birthday is on 11/11, November the 11th. It's coming because we are about November the 5th and the story. Okay, and I guess that's it. I guess it's it. Let's go to the plot then. As I said, she made new friends when the Russells moved in to 207 across the park. However, the Russells doesn't know that she is their best friend, and I don't think they were best friends. Okay, uh, the first member of the Russells family to pay her a visit was Ethan. Ethan is the 16-year-old son of the Russells. He goes there uh, under the excuse of give Anna Fox a candle in the name of Jane Russell, his mother. He stays there for some minutes and he cries, saying that he misses Boston and his friends, that his life's not good, he, etc., etc., etc. What do we know about Ethan? We know that he swims, he's allergic to cats, and I think so far just this. Daddy is called Alistair Russell. Mom is called Jane Russell. Jane Russell also pays Anna Fox a visit on October the 31st, Halloween. I forgot to say that one of Anna's condition, the panic attack and the agoraphobia, doesn't allow her to leave home. So she lives like in prison in her house. She cannot take home. Oh, she cannot leave home. Okay. So in Halloween afternoon, some kids of the neighborhood threw some eggs on her door, and she tried to scatter the kids, but she couldn't. Jane Russell was passing by, scattered the kids. Rang the bell and enter, and they talk a little bit, nothing intimate. Okay, but it was the first visit. On the next day she pays Anna Fox a second visit. That was a party. Okay, she brought some wine, they drank together, they played some chess, they drank more, they talked more, and they became a little bit more intimate. Okay, but in the same afternoon, after Jane Russell left Anna Fox home, Alistair, the husband, paid Anna Fox a visit, being a little bit rude and controlling, asking Anna if somebody from his family had been there that afternoon. Anna was drunk and said, "No, of course not." And like, why are you asking me this question? Okay, he was not convinced. He left home. The following day, there was the first weird episode that was the screaming episode. Anna's tenant asked her a knife, saying that he was going to the Russells to fix something. The fact is that David does some small tasks like this around the neighbor, fixing things, okay? And he went there to fix something. At about 6 p.m., Anna heard a scream, and like she tried to reach the house, but she doesn't have the number. She tried to reach David, but he didn't answer, and she was with her camera lurking through the window. Nothing happens, okay, but some minutes after it, Lame Long, who rang the bell? Ethan. He went there and said that Daddy was pretty angry and being a little bit violent with his words. He was a little bit scared, but he said just this and left to return home. Anna was a little bit more interested in the family. I think she's six problem. Maybe you are going to agree with me. However, okay, she was a little bit drunk, as I said in the beginning, and we must confirm these kind of medicine that she takes, they may lead people to hallucinate a little bit. Okay, they're strong medicine, but okay, nothing more happened. However, the other day, she heard, not only heard, she heard the noise when she was on the phone with Eddie, and she went to the window. She got her camera and went to the window. And then her problem started because she saw what we're going to call the episode two, the stabbing, the stabbing episode. She saw through her window Jane Russell, her best friend so far, being stabbed, and she's sure that happened. Jane was wearing a white. garment, and she clearly saw the white garment becoming red and something iron stuck on her chest. She tries to reach her telephone. She called 901, 901, no, 911 to ask for help as she was seeing a neighbor being stabbed. She doesn't know who stabbed, by the way. And 911 said, help is gonna go for your neighbor. And she tried to cross the street to help her. However, remember the panic attacks, the agoraphobia? She couldn't leave the house. She passed it out in the way there. And that ends chapter 33. The end of this discussion is going to lead us for some questions that I took note here. And the questions are: one, has the screaming episode and the stabbing episode both existed? Or was Anna drunk? Or was Hannah hallucinating? This is a good question. Second group of questions that raised to my mind. What happened in the trip to Vermont when Eddie and her was on the verge to tell Olivia that they were getting divorced. Something happened. A huge trauma has happened. And it doesn't convince me that the only trauma was the divorce. It's a fact that they don't live together. It's a fact that Olivia and Daddy are living in the same house and she was left behind alone. But why is Olivia with the father? What arose the panic attacks? These questions are not going to be solved today, but surely in our next discussion. Okay? Keep reading the book, keep with us, subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to like the video. See you, my stars. See you next time.